In this video, we will be covering Python iterators. Now, with lists and collections, the typical way, the majority of the time, we're going to be using some sort of a for loop or just a simple loop to iterate through different items, whether they be lists, collections, sets, dictionaries. Python does have some alternatives, which we will be covering in this video for iterating through different items. I'm going to start off by creating a list. I'm going to create a list of players. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is create what's called an iterator by calling the iter function, iter function. And we're going to pass our list of players. If we go ahead and print the iterator, and I'm going to save the file and run it. So we're going to get the list iterator object. So we have not actually done any sort of iteration. So we have to do something. We have to call like the next function, for example, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to call the next function, pass in the iterator. If we go ahead and run that, we're going to get the first item in our list. And so we can do that 3 times since we have 3 items in the list. And each one should just give us the next item, which it did. So we have Frank Thomas, Barry Bonds, and Cal Ripken. And then so we've reached the end of the list. So if I were to try and call this again, we're going to have an issue. We're going to get a stop iteration error. So it's important that we know how many items in our list, or that we put this in some sort of a try except block. Otherwise, we're going to run into an error once we get past the last item in the list. Another thing we can do is create what's called a generator. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all of this and create a generator. We're going to create just a simple counter. And we're going to take a couple arguments, start and end. So we're going to create a nested while loop. So we're going to while start is less than or equal to end. So we're going to have a new keyword, yield statement. And then we're going to increment start. Now the yield is what defines this as being a generator. Now there's an important concept to realize here. So if I just go ahead and just print the counter, we're going to create a counter that's going to start from 5 to 10, meaning it's going to, if we were to run the whole thing, it would just give us 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to go ahead and print the counter. Now if I save the file, let's clear what we had before. Now notice I got a generator object, even though it was just a simple function. So Python will automatically know if you have a function and you're yielding a value that is going to be a generator. Now notice I have not run any of the code inside this statement. In fact, what I can do is go ahead and print, we're going to call this inside generator or inside counter function. And if I go ahead and rerun this, you notice you will get the same generator object back. So nothing inside the counter function has actually run. Let's go ahead and create some separation. Now we're going to have so in order to run the code that's inside the generator, we have to use a for in loop. So we're going to call it for I in counter. So we're going to have the same counter as before. And then we will print I. Okay, and that just gives us the values back of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we can do the same thing with strings. Let's go ahead and create a new item. We'll create what's called a letter generator. So let's define a new function called letter generator. And we will not take any arguments in. We'll just print, actually we'll not take any arguments. We'll just have a for loop in here for L in. What we're going to do is jump to the top, import strings. I'm sorry, import the string module. So we'll call this string.sc. And we'll just go uppercase. So we're going to yield the value L. Now we go ahead and run this. So for L in letter generator. If we save the file and we go ahead and run that, we'll just get all the entire alphabet in uppercase, just print out line by line. Now it's very important to note that while we can just create just a regular list and loop through the list, the generator gives you a much larger, much better performance. When your list is like 10 items or the length of the alphabet, if the list is small, it's not going to be very noticeable. But if we had a counter with millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions of values, then the performance difference will be much greater. So that's the one thing to keep in mind as to whether to use just a regular list or go to all the trouble of using a generator.